Hello, everybody. Hello. I mean, it's been a minute since we've done this. It's been a little while. I mean, we're still in it. We're still deep in the confines of this virus, this overtaking of our lives. It's just been crunching us down to our core and our souls. We can't go eat. We can't go play. We can't go to theme parks. We can't do all those things that we want to do. But guess what? Here on the internet, on YouTube, in comics, in the indie scene, in this thing that we call life, we are still able to actually do things and get around and have fun and just be excited about doing comics. And that's here what we're going to do today. We got Rob Willis. I mean, he is just amazing, the stupendous. He looks freshly shiny on top. I mean, he is just looking incredible today. And I would like to just sit here for a minute and welcome you to the Skits Fun House. Woo!
I love that
How
energy.
are you? How are you doing today, Rob? I mean, it took us a couple times to do this, but we are here. How you like that?
Yeah, I'm glad we made it. Thank God we got here.
So
How are
so
you
what's
doing?
I'm doing great. You know, I had a root canal this morning. It's my first one. They didn't know quite what was wrong with it. I've been waiting a week to have this done, and they went in and he did like a 3D scan. He did X-rays. He did all sorts of stuff. He cleaned it out. He looked at it. He was just like, "Hey, buddy, your tooth died." And I was like, "What do you mean my tooth died? I've never heard of this before." He was like, "Yeah, man, your tooth just died. It happens sometimes. So sorry, buddy, but you got a dead tooth."
Wow, that's that's too bad.
What are you gonna do? I mean, you just say, "Okay, we'll clean it up, shave my head, and get me back on the playground," right?
that's
I mean,
that's right. That's right. Yeah,
so so how are you? You know, I haven't really had an opportunity to sit here and talk with you for a while. My wonderful wife, Black Star Karshina, she had you on her show, and I was able to ask a few questions and stuff like that. But tell me, how are you doing today? I mean, you got a book that you're working on, you got covers you're doing, you got sketches. I mean, you got all sorts of stuff going on. So tell me, what is it? What is life as Rob Willis? Let me know.
it's good. Um, you were talking about the pandemic. I'm lucky enough to be living down in Miami where things aren't too crazy. There ain't too much government overreach down here. They're trying to let us live, so that's good. People are still precautious. They're considerate of one another, which is good, and hopefully we get through this crazy virus thing here real soon. Um, Other than that, I mean, my life never really changed much because I was in the house a lot anyway. For a while, the gym closed down, so that put a damper on my time out of the house because that's pretty much the only place I went. But it's opened back up now, even though I haven't really made it back to the gym yet. I kind of got stuck in a routine, and now I got to break the routine to get back out to get some exercise. Um, but other than that, man, I'm just working. I'm still drawing Shinobi Sasquatch. It's coming along. It's a really fun, long. It's a big book, so I hope everybody is cool bearing with me. I'm trying to make it the best project that I possibly can, so that everybody is thrilled when they receive their book, and there's no regrets. And other than that, I'm doing another little short story for Graveyard Shift 3, and I got a few covers going on. I got a cover for Alterna Comics for Peter Simeti coming pretty soon too, and then just a few little side projects that I need to take care of as well. So I'm very busy, very busy, and then on top of that, the family, man, which is um, takes about takes about half of my time from. So my day is split between the family and the art. That's pretty much it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Perfect life.
Well, perfect. I mean, that just sounds like normal people living.
That's
I mean,
right.
here, where we live, we're also in the South. We're not as far deep South. Me and Karshina, we're native Floridians, so,
Nice.
we grew up on the beaches and stuff. Me, Daytona, her, Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And it's just, but we're still in the South, but we ain't gonna say quite where we're at, but we in the South, and our state didn't close down either,
Good,
so
good, good.
everything just kind of stayed the same. And plus we live in the country, we're out on the farm, and there ain't nothing going on here. You might have cars come by from time to time. Now in the winter, it's really interesting because most people come here in the summer. We live near a lake, so there's like a lake right at the end of our road, and people come here for the summer to do the lake and all that. But then they go away after September, and then in the winter, you could stand in the road for an hour or two and never actually see a car come by. So I mean, it gets kind of quiet here.
It's beautiful though. I
It
don't know
is.
if I could take it. I've lived in seclusion. Actually, yeah, it's if you can enjoy that life, I mean, that seclusion like that, then that is a beautiful thing. I can only take it for increments. Maybe go out to the country for 2 months, and then by that time I'm ready to get back to where there's some activity going on. Even though I don't really enjoy any of the activity, I like to know that it's around if I want to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's the same also for Karshina. We got married a year ago, August 10th, so we just celebrated our first year anniversary. And
Congratulations.
thanks. It was a big thing for her, though. I'd been living here for 4 or 5 years, or I've been living here about 4 or 5 years now, and she moved here from Hollywood, California. So she had been there for 15, 16 years doing film and movies and TV and promos and all this other stuff. So for her, it's been really, really tough. I know it has, because like we try and get to town as much as possible. We try and do 2 date days, a week. And for us to drive to town, the biggest city, it's about an hour and 15-minute drive one way, so it's a big deal where, but here's the thing, she was in LA, Hollywood. If she wanted to drive to the other side of LA, it was an hour and a half anyway,
Yeah.
That's just to
Big
the other
city.
side of the town,
Big city,
So,
big city.
but
Yeah.
here there's no traffic, there's no nothing. You're just straight on, as fast as you can go until you get to town. So it's a little different here and there. So but just for a quick second though, I mean, we started and we just started talking. There's some people in the chat. We got fans here and stuff like that. So I just wanted to give them a quick shout out and say hey to everybody that's come on in here. We got I'm not sure what all this is. Mauricio GD. I'm not too good with Hispanic names and stuff like that. So I'm sorry, man. I'm really sorry. Lord Nemesis, we got you. Hey, man. Who's it? Luisa Budamonte. I think I said that right. Say hey. Thanks for coming in here and saying hey. Of course, we got Black Star. She's in there dropping links, saying hey to everybody, stuff like that. I do appreciate that, baby. Thank you. Gus Tyler Bush says hey. What's going on? Oh, actually, here we go. From Gus Tyler Bush. Rob Willis is a spectacular artist. I know.
Thanks, Gus.
I know. And we got him here. We're talking to him. So if you got questions, we'll definitely answer some questions for you. I'm sure he would love to hear what you have to say, And we got Justin Dutton. What's up, Dutton? I appreciate
What's up,
you
Justin?
for stopping by, saying hey to us and everything. Go back Unstitched. He just finished out his. I mean, it's an awesome book. We backed it. We got the teddy bear tier. I mean, I'm a huge fan of teddy bears. I got a first edition of Winnie the Pooh right over there on the table. I mean, it's one of my prized possessions. I'm a huge bear fan. So, I mean, for me, it was a no-brainer. We went and got that tier from him. Verse Film is also in there. Rob seems to be well-rounded, pun intended. There you go. Justin Dutton, North Carolina Life. I know. Let's see if we got some other people here. I guess that's about it. Do miss living in Raleigh, but okay, yeah. I know. House in the Sticks. I mean, that's exactly what this is. House in the Sticks. That's why the internet sometimes is good, sometimes it's not. That's just the way it is when you live in the places that we actually live. It's just one of them things. Gus Tyler is also saying, yeah, he's in Mississippi. I know, man. I know, got them crooked letters, man, crooked letters.
It's nice
But
out there, though.
it's beautiful. I mean,
The-
I'm a deep South guy. I lived in Southern Georgia for 10 plus years. I went to Savannah. I lived there, and yeah, I'm just a deep South kind of guy. So anywhere in the deep South, I'm loving
yeah.
it. Louisiana, I'll take any of it, especially Louisiana. Their food, oh, the cracklings, boudin. I mean, I'm all over that any day of the week. Well,
Yeah, last time I got out into the country, man, was right before I got into drawing comic books. So it was a little over 2 years ago, and I took a job out at this really big, nice place out on the mountain out there. Really, really, really nice house, really beautiful area. And I actually stayed there for about 2.5 months doing the job. The people I was working for had me in a little guest house, and
nice.
man, they let me take out their ATVs. We went hunting. Well, not hunting. I went shooting. I didn't go hunting. But it was beautiful, man. Like miles of trails out in the mountain and stuff. I miss it. I miss it. But after about 2 months, I was ready to roll out.
Yeah, yeah. I know the feeling, and hunting and shooting and stuff like that. We do that. We can do that here. But the big thing that I've been hunting the last couple of years has been groundhogs. Groundhogs, man, they will tear up your place like
I
nothing
know.
you ain't never seen. And they're sneaky, man. Like
Yeah.
they'll be across the street trying to eat the garden up. And I'll be on the back of the house trying to open the door and sneak around the house to get to them, and
Yeah.
they hear the door opening up on the back porch. So the only way I was able to find out to get them is I had to lift the window up in my bedroom and slide the rifle out the bedroom window there to get them
Yeah.
when they're trying to get
Now,
the garden. That's the only
uh,
way I could get them.
are they the cute little groundhogs or the big ugly gophers?
Oh,
You
these
can't.
guys are big. It's just like Poxitani Phil, when they pull him out, the big
Yeah,
guy, and he's like, rah, rah,
those
rah, rah.
those ones are scary looking up close. The little ones, the little guys aren't too bad. I like them, but the big ones, I used to have to hunt them when I worked for the park authority because
Yeah.
they would take over the park. Yeah,
Yes, yes. They're about 30. Most of these around here are around 30 pounds, something like that.
yeah.
They get about that size. I mean,
Th-
they are big critters,
th-
and they will
they
tear
look
up everything.
they look cute from about 30, 40 feet away, but when you get up close to them, you realize how terrifying they really are, man. They're ugly up close.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's like when you go to buy a car, like you get a picture of it on
Yeah,
Craigslist. You're like looking at it, you're
yeah,
like, man, this is a sweet ride right here, And then you roll up and you get in the driveway and you're looking at it from the car, like, man, this is nice, this is nice. And then you get right up on it, you get within like a foot or two, and you're like, oh man, this
oh
thing's been
man,
in a hailstorm. There's bumps and divots and
yeah.
everything.
You open the door, there's holes in the seat. It smells like mildew.
Yeah, yeah. That's what you
Yeah.
call a 10-foot car. It
Uh-huh.
looks good from about 10 feet.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and, since we're talking, you working on Shinobi Sasquatch and all that, let's just go ahead and check that out. Let me remove that. Let me stop the screen, share the screen. I got to do all this and, hit the tab, share audio, all that stuff.
The campaign page is probably the same as it's been since the beginning. I know Cal sends out updates to backers though with new artwork that's coming out for it. We try since it's been such a wait. We try to keep everybody at least up to date. Send them little, like I said, little tidbits and things like that. Let them check out the process. And we're thinking about doing something for all the backers right now. I don't want to say because our fulfillment date got pushed back due to COVID. Really, the COVID lockdowns set me back because
Yeah.
my wife works with COVID patients at the hospital, so she had to move out for about 2.5 months, which left me solely responsible for everything that goes on around here, and I didn't get nearly as much work done as I needed to. So, but she's back now, so I'm back at it. But because of the waiting and prolonged release date. I think we're thinking about doing something, and like I said, I don't want to say it right now because I don't know if it's for sure, but I think everybody's going to get a little treat for being so patient with us.
Can we get chocolates? I want chocolates. You know, like I mean, I want something
No,
sweet and chocolatey. You know.
well, I don't know about chocolates. I don't know how we do that. We're trying to do it in a way that doesn't cost us money. Now, Cal did think about doing something that was going to eat into his little bit of profits, but I think we figured out something that we can do that's not going to really cost any money, but still will give the backers a little something, a little taste.
Just give them a little taste. That's all they
right.
really need. You know, it's like, hey, I know we went over a little bit, but everything's going over a little bit. We got COVID, we got all the virus, we got all that stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a little something extra for you. So don't worry about it. But
That's right.
Here's the big deal. It's like, how many pages is Shinobi Sasquatch? I know it's like way more than what people are normally doing.
85 pages. It started off as like 45 pages or something like that, roughly 45, 48 pages. And because we hit 2 of our stretch goals, which I don't know if we really thought we were going to hit those stretch goals. And, but since we did hit them, we went with the perk, which was that we were going to add pages. And we did that twice. That's going to be the final page count. There are no more extra pages, perks, but it's going to be an 85-page book. And this is my first project, and it's I wish I would have known how much more work 40 some pages was going to be, because I might have
twice the work.
I might have we might have set up some different perks so that everybody would get their book a lot sooner. But it's going to be a big book now, and it's an amazing project. Cal added on 40 pages of story, and it's really amazing. It's an awesome story. I think the artwork is going to be really, really cool. I'm doing my best to make it as awesome as possible, and so is Paul. And we got Eric Weathers, who's going to be lettering it, and he's a master letterer. So this is going to be a really beautiful project, and I'm looking forward to finish it and getting it in everybody's hands and getting feedback so I can learn a little bit off of the people who read it and see what they think about it, because I got another project coming out right after that, and I'd like to take what I've learned with this project and incorporate it into that one, as far as lessons on time, lessons on how to run the campaign, feedback from the backers once they get the book. Maybe some people have opinions, maybe people have some insight they'd like to share. I'm open for all of it.
Well, I think Dutton says it best. Rob's art is worth the wait. And especially since it's like twice as much goodness as everyone else's books that's coming out. I mean, who cares? If it's a few months late, who cares? You know, because you're getting twice the book that anyone else is putting out anyway. So bam, there you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, just say, hey, you guys, you know, we got craziness going on. It's just going to be a little bit late. No big deal. We got a little, and Black Star said it right here. You know, it's like we're dropping a little exclusive for you. We're going to put a little something in to stir up the pot. No big deal. You know, we'll hook you up a little bit. So
there's a few things. There's a few things we're planning on doing, and I'm trying to work it out where I can. I wasn't originally planning on doing this, but I think, there's people that have asked about it, and there's, like I said, everybody's been so patient. I haven't, even though we're late, I haven't got a lot of grief from people, and I really, really, really appreciate that, because I don't know if I would be so kind as our supporters have been. So it's really appreciated. And I think what I'm going to do is fly out to where Cal is at. And, I don't want to put him on blast. I don't know, but I'm going to fly to the other side of the country. And, I think we're going to sign, probably both sign all the books. So I'm going to go out there and sign every copy, but that's not what we're going to do for the people. That's just an extra thing that I want to do to show everybody that I really appreciate their patience and support.
Nice,
So
nice. Yeah, so everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna come out. I mean, a talent like yours, there's no reason why it won't come out because as soon as this thing hits, it's just gonna exponentially grow for you on the next campaign, and then also you're gonna have a lot more people saying, "Hey, I want some of that man. I want some of Rob. I want him on my project. I want him on my book." And you've already been having that going on. You know, you got you got John Malin. You're doing some stuff for John Malin. You
yeah,
got Dan Fraga. You're doing stuff for
yeah,
Dan Fraga. You're doing stuff for Alterna.
yeah,
You're doing stuff for Uncle Lee. I mean,
yeah.
everyone wants you. So as soon as this comes out, it's what you should do is take like a little bit of time as soon as it drops, and then a ton of people will want some stuff. Then you do that stuff, and then you drop your own thing right after that. You know, give yourself a little bit of break. You know, to kind of.
I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take on some smaller projects in between Shinobi and my next book. And what I'm gonna do is I'll be working on that book
Yeah.
while I'm taking on other projects, so I can still pay the bills, taking on side work, and I want to get enough of the book done where I can really show a good amount of it off. For the campaign, I want to be able to have some pages colored and lettered, and I want to get most of the book at least penciled out before I even launch the campaign. So when people back the book, they're not waiting, an exponential amount of time for them to get it. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because when we launched Skits, everyone was like, "When you launching Skits? When you launching Skits? Why haven't you launched Skits?" And I was like, "Hey, you know it's coming. We're selling the sizzle. It's coming." And then when I launched it, I already had a third of the book done. So it was like, I was like, this is why we waited,
Yeah.
because we wanted to have stuff to show, wanted to get people interested, get people on the mailing list, and have a good amount of the book already done. You know.
And it looks amazing, man. I was the
Thanks,
your
man.
your backgrounds are just phenomenal. I'm not huge on doing backgrounds. I mean, I like them. I love to draw them, but it's like it always takes me a minute to get in to separating from doing characters into the background scenery and things like that. Your background work is just like magical, man.
Well,
I,
I really appreciate that. And it's definitely something that I've worked on over the years because when I was younger, like 20 years old, trying to do comic books and stuff like that, all I did was just draw figures. But,
yeah,
the artwork that really influenced me as I went down the line was like stuff that I was seeing like in concept art, like for movies, for television, for video games,
yeah,
those artists, like the Disney-esque style artists, not necessarily the style, but the way that they approach composing scenes and composing panels and all different types. That's really what I've been focused on for several decades now, where it's just like I want to be able to bring you into a world, because if you think about it, like people like Disney, Warner Brothers, all these big companies and all these big IPs, what they do is they bring you into a world. And that's really what I wanted to do with Skits. It's like Skits is about skits, but it's also about the world. It's about where it's taking place. It's about where it's happening. So when I compose like pages and panels and stuff like that, I'm thinking about the entire scene from the word go. It's like
yeah,
I want to be able to say, okay, it's happening here. I'm moving through this environment. Where is everything? What will make it the most dynamic? I want to have a foreground, a middle ground, and a background on almost every panel, unless it's like a close up and you're trying to be dramatic or something like that. It's like, that's just the way I'm thinking now. That's just the way I want to do the art. So,
yeah,
and does it hurt me when I'm trying to sell stuff to just normal people and stuff like that? Maybe a little, because I'm not focused on just awesome characters in your face all the time, which is what you got like nailed
it,
down
yeah. It pays off
perfect.
though. I think people like to get lost in the environment too. Not just the in your face characters. I'm working on finding a balance of that right now. Um, I I wish I would have maybe taken a slightly different approach from the beginning, and really uh I think actually I haven't really ruined the opportunity to really seize the backgrounds, like the forest environment. um we haven't had a lot of pages exposed that were really in nature and things. But I think I'm going to have a lot of fun getting involved in doing different types of trees and things like that. It's going to be really cool.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what Todd McFarlane told me when I was working for him. You know, he was like, if you're going to be a comic book artist, you got to pick one thing that you're good at, that you're better than anybody and everyone else at this. You know, like pick one thing and do it better than anybody. You know, and I remember years ago he was like, do you want to pick trees? Probably not. But if you do a really good Thor, you're gonna be awesome, and you're actually gonna make it. So, I could do a really good tree. I could do a really good background, some clouds. But maybe you should probably focus on the characters a little bit. But here's the thing: people don't know this. Once you get into the book, you're gonna be seeing all sorts of cool character stuff from skits. You know, so it's there. So I wanted to pull up some of your pencil work because. And I got some ink stuff here too, also to compare. I want to talk about that. But for me, like to be able to know exactly what type of an artist someone is, you got to look at their sketchbooks. You got to look at their pencils. You got to look at where all the thinking happens and where the development happens. And for me, from the word go, when I first saw your pencil work and stuff, I was like, dude, this guy's got something here. This is something to look forward to. So this is just a piece I pulled off your Twitter. It's this is Shinobi Sasquatch right here, correct?
Yeah. And I haven't got around to inking this guy yet. I think somebody actually asked if they could ink something of mine, and I sent it to them for them to play around with. I don't know if I don't know how far they've gotten on it yet, though, but eventually we'll finish this guy up and add him to the campaign as like a poster or something like that.
You didn't send them the original art, did you?
No, somebody bought the original. This piece. Whoa, sorry about that.
Everything's going crazy.
My tablet broke, so I'm actually streaming on my phone today. So I had to do a little configuring to get set up. I drew this piece specifically because Jimmy Reyes asked me to, if there was something he could ink on his show. He wanted to have me and Cal on his show. And he said, do you have any artwork I could ink while you guys are on? And I was like, not really. So I said, but I tell you what, I'll draw something. And I drew this guy. And then I didn't even make it to his show. Something happened and Cal went on and I wasn't even there. I think Jimmy started to ink it that day. We tried to set up for like the next day, but I was still wasn't able to get on there. This might have been during the COVID stuff where I just didn't have the time. And I think Jimmy may have just gave up on it.
Man.
I know. I feel terrible. I couldn't make it on his show. I love Jimmy. But I wasn't able to make it on there, and I don't think it ever got finished.
So I got to ask you a big question here. Now, when you do your works like this, I mean, because this is a beautiful finished piece of penciled work. Now, do you just ink right over your pencils, or do you scan it in and print out like a blue line and ink over that?
I wish I scanned it and did it, and I could save the pencils and have the ink separately because I'd probably make more. I'd make more money that way.
You double your money, man. You double your money.
I ink right over the pencils. So.
Something to think about when you actually do your own campaign here coming up soon. You need, as a person for me, like I love your inks and I love your pencils, but if I had the opportunity, I would buy a penciled piece. And then, like say down the road, I want a skits cover done, it's like, I would buy it. I'd say, listen, Rob, listen, I love all your work, but will you please? I am going to buy this. I'm going to have you do it, but I'm going to buy the pencils. You scan the pencils, you print it out in blue line, you ink over that for the finished one, but I want to buy the pencils. Bam.
I haven't found a printing shop. My printer doesn't, somebody told me they thought it would scan onto Bristol board. I haven't figured it out if it does, though. I don't think it does. You
can get you a high-end Epson printer. They'll do it.
That's what I got, but I don't believe it scans. Oh, it's not. I don't know if it's high-end. I I don't think this one in particular scans onto Bristol. So I got to find a shop somewhere around here that will scan onto Bristol board, and any of the local places I've been to, like Staples or whatever, they don't do it. So I got to find a place that'll scan my scan on the Bristol board for me.
Okay, yeah, because you know, the way I do it here, if I'm doing something like, I don't do anything like that usually, but and I'll tell you about my process. But I scan it in on a large size scanner, you know, 11x17 scanner. Just scan it in.
Mm-hmm.
I bring it into Photoshop. I turn it into Blue Line, and then I just print it out on an oversized Epson printer. You know, you can put your regular Bristol board right down in there, and it'll print right out on it. But
Oh, no kidding.
yeah, so
Yeah,
I mean
this one
that's
may.
the way I would do it.
What kind of printer do you have? Because I'm
Epson.
wondering, the guy. This is an Epson, but I don't know what series it is. 70, maybe a 7100, 7710 or something like that. I can't tell from here. But the guy, this was actually a gift, man. A guy named Lee sent this to me. He loved my work. He heard me or saw me texting or something on Twitter about having to go out and scan every time I went out. And he's like, man, I can get you, I'll send you a printer. And I was like, I'm good. You know, I don't like taking gifts from people, you know, I don't know. And
Yeah, exactly. I
the
know I
dude's
know
like,
the
nah,
feeling.
man. He's like, nah, man, it's coming off a job. The guy's just gonna throw it away anyway. And I was like, oh, okay, well,
Well,
send it on over then. So
dude,
he sent it to me.
before you know it, he shows up at your door in a trench coat. You know, so
Well,
you know.
you gotta be careful. Lee hasn't done that. So no, I think Lee's a good guy. I've talked to him a lot since then, and I talked to him a lot before then. And I think he was just really liked my work and wanted to help me be a little more productive. And I really appreciate that. He
That's
also,
kind.
yeah,
Really
man,
nice.
it's really cool. I've met a lot of people, man. I got on Twitter about 2 years ago, started showing little drawings off. Wasn't sure what I wanted to do at the time. I wanted to get into comics, but at the time I was trying to build up a resume to send. I wanted to. I didn't want to build a resume to send to Marvel or DC because I didn't really want to work at Marvel or DC at the time because of what they were paying new artists at the time and how they start their new artists off and what projects they put them on. And I was like, really, I got a lot of ideas. I want to create my own project. So what I was doing was starting my own book and was going to try and push it to Image Comics.
Mm.
And this was before I knew anything about crowdfunding comics. I didn't know that you could come out with your own independent books and get them funded on Indiegogo or Kickstarter or anything. I didn't know nothing about that. I was just I had got away from comics for a long time, hadn't really been involved in the culture of comics in years because I was doing other things. And once I got back in it, I had a lot to learn. But now that I found out about indie comics, I think that's where I'll probably stick for a while unless something better comes out. You know, who knows what's going to come around.
Well, you
So
never know. I mean, someone like DC or Marvel, you know, once you get big enough, they might start throwing those checks where they're like, "Hey, here's $5,000 to do a cover," and then you're like, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea."
yeah, I would definitely do that. But right now, who knows, man? It's so wishy-washy right now with what's going on. And so we'll see. We'll just see. I don't set any restrictions. I don't make any plans. I set goals, little goals, and I try and get to them. And I don't make plans on how to get there. I just do what I got to do along the way. So
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe 5-10 years I'll be somewhere else. Who knows?
Exactly. You never know what's going to come down the road, and all you can do is just take advantage of every opportunity that comes to you. That's the big thing that I got to tell everybody. You know, one of the things that I went to Savannah College of Art and Design for illustration, which was really silly because illustration pretty much doesn't even exist anymore in the advertising world. You know, it's more just photography, and they get graphic designers to do illustrations for them,
yeah,
and stuff like that. But
and that's pretty
anyway,
much like what colors to use to. I mean, it's really cool though. Like graphic design teaches you a lot of stuff, but like there's certain colors you use for certain advertisements that draw people in or push them away. Yeah, there's a lot of neat stuff you can learn there.
But the big thing, one of the teachers who actually worked in the industry for a long time, he said, listen, the big thing you need to do is never say no to a project. Do whatever you have to do to actually just take it in and do it. And this obviously is the illustration world. You do things a little differently there. You know, you're
Yeah.
working in certain styles, you know, where you can kind of cut corners and different stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
not like where you're trying to be consistent over
Yeah.
time in one particular style, and you're worried about the dynamics and the technical aspects of getting figures and perfect. So most people in the illustration worlds, they tend to do things in styles, styles that they can
Yeah.
replicate quickly.
Yeah.
So when people come to them, they can work it and just churn them out daily.
Yeah.
But he just said, don't say no, because here's the thing. There might be one person that's like, hey, can you do this? And you're like, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to do it. But,
Oh,
but
yeah.
then, but then that person who is at a small company that was trying to get you to do work, they end up as an editor or something at a bigger company in New York. And, that
Yeah.
one thing, when you saved them that one time to do that job, now they're like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
I know this guy. He'll do whatever we ask. Give him a job. So he's just
Yeah.
like, you never know it's what's coming down the road. So you be kind to everybody, you treat everyone with respect, and you never say no to a job. That's what he said.
That's right. Yep. I've kind of been doing that. Sometimes you regret taking on so many projects, but if you got you got a good work ethic, you can get it done. So yeah.
Yeah.
There aren't too
So
many projects I say no to, unless it's a rushed project. They need something in, say somebody contacts me and they need something in a month or 2 weeks. I can't take it because I don't have that availability right now. If they're willing to wait, I'll take the project.
someone that just had a little question here. I guess he heard us talking about Savannah College of Art Design in Atlanta. No, I went in Savannah back when I was at SCAD. They only had one campus, and it was in Savannah. I know they got them all over the world now. Yeah, so it was in the '90s. So I mean that gives you an idea how old we are here. But yeah, man, definitely. So I wanted to look a little bit more at some more pencils here, just real quick. I really like this piece right here, and I'll tell you why. What we got here is like, here's the inks for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing, amazing work. And I like that you put a little bit more in the background too in the inks. I'm guessing this pencil scan was maybe a little earlier before you put the background in and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I kind of just free-handed the background. I wasn't. I was like, you know what? I'm drawing all this. I don't want to draw everything twice. So I was pretty comfortable just doing a background on there without having. But with the characters, I like to get them penciled out pretty fine so that there's not too much guesswork when I'm inking. I know exactly how I want to render it, where all my lines need to go, and everything.
Now look at Shinobi Sasquatch there, around his face to his crotch area. It's like if you look at the inks, I mean, it's basically just all blacked out. You're spotting your blacks, you're doing
Yeah,
all that sort of stuff, and it's beautiful. In the traditional comic booking, inking styles. I mean, it's almost flawless. I got to be honest with you. I mean, it's beautiful. But for me, and this is just me, I don't know how many
no,
people are like this out there. It's like when I look at your pencils, I'm like,
yeah,
there's more detail in the pencils than there is in the ink, because there's that area between the face and the crotch, and
yeah,
and you got textures, you got stuff going on in there, and it's just starting to fade out, and it's like there's something
yeah,
going on in there, and it draws my eye. But when I look at it in the inks, I'm like, okay,
yeah.
yeah, I see that, I see that, I see that. But it
Well,
makes me want to look at it longer when I see it in the pencils.
well, if I wasn't inking it at all, I would have added a lot more depth and textures. You would see a lot more, but because I know what I'm going in and doing with the
Yeah,
inks,
yeah,
and that I pretty much just shadow it all in. But I'm really good, even better. So I'm just like the first thing I inked ever was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. So there's a different approach you got to take to drawing when you
Wait, wait,
know
wait, 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 wait,
that
wait,
it.
wait, 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 wait. We got to stop right there. I don't think people heard you. You did your first inking ever a year to a year and a half ago. Is that what you said?
Maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. That's it's.
Don't
I
make
think
people feel bad, man.
I think the first picture I inked is still on my Twitter page, way down there somewhere. And you can scroll down. It's probably right at close to
Well,
the bottom of my timeline. And you can see it there as a first approach, and you can tell from then until now, if you really look at it, that I take a different approach to rendering and things like that. But I like to pencil, but because I know we're doing a comic book and it's all got to
yep,
be inked, when I
I
do my
know.
my black areas, I don't get to add the kind of different shades in there. You know what I mean? Because if this one here, if I was actually just going to pencil it and then the pencils were going to be scanned, maybe darkened and then colored, I would have gone in and really added some good a lot of different shades for depth into those darker areas.
Yeah, but I don't think you need to. I think what you did right there by just putting it in quick, it it draws the eye in and it makes you your own mind add those things in there. I sometimes think
Yeah,
like maybe we as artists give people too many details and
yeah, maybe.
we don't leave it airy enough, open enough for
Yeah,
people to put their own details into those spaces. And
yeah,
I think that's what you do with your pencils. And I know why you're doing it because you're like, I gotta get to the inks, you know?
yeah.
But it looks fantastic and I really, really love that, you know?
A lot, how a lot of artists will just do their outlines and then X in the black areas. I can't really,
Yeah.
I haven't got comfortable enough to do that because I don't know how it's going to look when it's completely darkened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got to
Yeah.
go in and do all that shading still. One day,
Well,
maybe I'll get comfortable enough.
okay, now I saw this piece and I was just like, this guy got like 100 times better in just like a few months. Because
Yeah.
when you did the one for Uncle E, the Cyber Frog, and then you did this one for Dan Fraga, I was like, this is the same guy. I know it is, but my lord, man, he just turned on the turbo boost or something. I mean, he
Well,
is killing it.
yeah, I wanted to go pretty nuts on this cover. I know Dan is hyper detailed.
Yeah,
I know he's a big fan of that '90s bombastic, in your face comic
yeah.
style. I know that's what he wants with this book, so that's what I tried to do here.
I mean, you just killed it. Let's also look at the inks. You know, it's like I like going back and forth, having it in
Mm.
preview like this because I can look at the pencils
Yeah,
and then look at the inks, and it's just like I mean, your inks are almost exactly like your pencils, and I know as an artist, the labor of love that it takes to actually get it like that is
yeah,
no one unless you're an artist. I don't think you can really have the appreciation for what you're doing right here because I myself, there's no way I could ever do that. I can't. I don't have the attention span, maybe, or just I just don't know what I don't have. But I can't go over every inch of my pencils like that, tracing it over to do it so that it's doing what you're doing. I just can't. And you're amazing at it.
thank you. I don't think I have the attention span for it. It's a struggle to sit down and do all that. It is. Some people, man, I've seen some people go to work and they're just like, it's just natural, man. They just knock it out. It's no big deal. It seems like they're able to do it really quick without getting up and taking any breaks. I got to take a break or two. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. And Eric, he asked, "Is this a black flag?" Yes, this is the alternative cover that was put up at the what was it, the $175
yeah,
mark?
it's on the site now. It's limited, but it's not like very limited. I think there's 1,000 copies of the colored version, or you can get the black and white version, and I think there's 500 copies of that, and they haven't like sold out or anything. I think maybe 130 copies of the colored version have sold, and then maybe like 40 copies of the black and white version. So there's plenty. If you want to get it, there's plenty of copies left. It's on Dan Fraga's Black Flag campaign on Indiegogo. Um,
Yeah, man. Go check it out. I mean,
The colored version. I mean, we're talking about my pencils and inks, but Matt Yackey,
Matt Yackey is a pro, man. I mean,
man,
he kills it. He kills it.
his colors. I was a little skeptical. Uh, I didn't know how it was going to be colored. I'm always like kind of wondering what the colorist is going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I was more than thrilled with what Matt Yackey did with that cover. He just blew it out. He just blew it away. He just blew it away. He really capitalized on what was already there.
So
And,
there's three colorists. Okay, there's the colorist that completely destroys a piece of good artwork.
yeah,
There's the colorist that looks like he hasn't even colored it, so it's still good because the artwork's awesome, and they just kind of throw some shades of color in there, and
yep,
it
yep.
doesn't hurt it. It doesn't make it any
Very
better.
subtle. Yeah,
Yeah, they're subtle. That's good too. I'm fine with that. And then there's the people that like take your piece that's at a 10 and make it a 20.
that's
And
right.
I mean, he did that with it. And I don't have the color piece here. I feel bad, but
That's
I mean,
that's
he definitely
what I
killed
like.
it.
Yeah, Paul does that too, like really bold colors. So, you know, like you were saying, the second one you said they do real subtle colors. So you're really focusing more on what the line guy did, what the line artist did, and the colors are kind of secondary. But as nice as that is, I like to see a guy who wants to come in with the same kind of passion and
Yeah.
not not saturate the line work so that you don't see any of it, but really just knows exactly how to like accentuate everything so that they're both very appreciated still. I think we got a good guy, Paul on Shinobi Sasquatch. He does a really good job at that. Matt Yackey is, of course, amazing. And there's a bunch of other colorists. Of course, Kyle Ritter is another guy that I just love his work.
Yeah.
And
He
there's
adds
a lot
to
of
it, you
pros.
know?
There's a
Yeah.
lot of pros that are just amazing. So
Well, let's just hold off there for a second because I hear a knocking as if like something rapping at my chamber door. It is Black Star. How are you today? Thanks a lot for stopping in.
Of course. And yes, you already have something sweet and chocolatey. What are you talking about?
There you go. There you go. You got some questions for Rob? You got questions for us? Do you have some insight as to what's going on right here? What's going on today?
Of course. Hey Rob. Oh my God. Thank you so much
Hey,
for
what's
coming
up?
back on the show.
Thank you for
It
inviting me.
it's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like yesterday though to me. The
I know.
days
Uh,
the I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think I have a slight delay. No, I think I have a slight delay, and it's so sad because literally, my husband's at the studio and I'm at the house, and it's literally just one little walkover. That's so sad.
We'll
I was
bring
saying that
something to
yes,
the
I
table.
am a city girl. Thank you. Well, this is one of the reasons why I am a city girl, and I'm used to having Wi-Fi. That's so good. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. It's
Um,
not always good in the city though. But it's usually pretty bad out in the middle of nowhere. My Wi-Fi is
well, you gotta
terrible
change
out
some
here.
hands.
Yeah.
You gotta change some hands to get that good 100 megabyte. You gotta
Yep.
change some hands.
Yep.
Let's go over a little bit about that line work that you're doing. It is pristine. I mean, every time I look at something, every time you post something on Twitter, I am just like, does this dude even sleep? Because you're posting like at 2 a.m. Maybe you posting at 11. Maybe you posting like in the morning. It is so good. It is so good. Are you working on deadlines, or you just have a deadline for yourself?
I don't even know anymore. I don't know what I'm working as fast as I can. That's it. I just push it at the fastest pace I can go. I do have deadlines, and sometimes I have to rearrange my schedule to meet them. I have to stop something that I'm doing to get something done, and so I just kind of I just do what I got to do at the moment. I do have
Right?
I do have idealistic deadlines that I'm really trying to meet. Sometimes, life has its little twists and turns, and you get delayed though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Will you be continuing to post on Twitter? Let's say, I know you said that you have your Shinobi and that you wish maybe in a very nice way you were like, yeah, that extra 45 is a little bit much.
I'll
But
definitely be continuing to post work, because I realize if as an artist, when you stop posting work, you become completely irrelevant. Uh,
mhm.
and yeah, if you slow down, people forget about you. That's it. And somebody else, they'll fill that art slot with somebody else. So in order to stay relevant, which I'm trying to do, I'm not worried about being popular, anything like that. As far as
Right,
I don't want to be a
right.
popular guy. I just want to make sure that I can continue to produce work. I just want people to like my artwork. I don't care if people
That's
hate my
exactly.
guts, but I just want them to like my artwork. Yeah,
They can't hate Rob. Well, that's exactly what we do in the film world. It's you want to be that actor that's a working actor. So when people say, "Oh,
yeah,
what do you do?" I say, "I'm a working actress." I'm not here to. It'd be nice, sure. It'd be great to have that blessing on my life to have like a Denzel, like role while I'm like his daughter or his wife or something, and get
yeah,
that recognition. But if I can just still be in the movie, and then you see
yeah,
me next, like show, and then you see me on a
yeah.
commercial, that means this girl is working,
That's
and
right.
and I don't need to have your popularity contest. I just want to work because I
That's
love what I do.
that's right. Yeah, you gotta
Exactly.
stay active.
Exactly. Now, speaking of, now is Shinobi Sasquatch a horror comic? Because my friends at Verse Films, they're a horror production, and they're like, dude, does he do movie posters? Because they've got so many ideas, so many ideas.
I can no, it's actually not a horror. I think I kind of turned it into one though. It's got some I kind of like I saw a post on Twitter the other day. Somebody posted, I can't remember what it was. It was like, but what it was like what they pitched me and what I drew. And it was like this it was like a teddy bear on the first one, and then like the second one is like this snarling, like enraged monster. And I was like, that's me. Like I try and really intensify the image, and sometimes it works out, and sometimes they're like, yo, this is not this is too much. But horror is great. I love horror. um, I've kind of now the book has a horror twist, obviously, because there is like this demonic cult, and there is this this Bigfoot that turns into a werewolf. He's a werewolf. um, so there's the monster aspect, and in the cult there's really a monster aspect, because there's these gods that are summoned, that are the just disgusting looking creatures. So there's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be it. Maybe it is a horror. I don't know. I don't know what you honestly classify it as. It started off originally as kind of like a comedy, and then it turned into like a more serious book, and now it's getting into I don't. It's a little bit of everything. I gotta say, that's just a little bit of everything. It has a horror aspect to it. It has like
Mm-hmm.
a heartwarming aspect to it. It has a funny aspect to it. It has a very exciting, action-packed aspect to it. It's just I don't know how you'd really categorize it, though. I don't know if it falls under any strict category.
Okay, but so you are a horror guy, because I want to get you in touch with them, because I
If
know that they've been like asking,
get,
like,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
you'll own in the horror world. Like
Oh, if
they just
you,
know it. They just know it. So
I could really, really, really show off some versatility in the horror realm. I have a horrific mind, uh, and I do, and I suppress it. I mean, I'm sane because I can contain it. If I wasn't, I'd probably be some kind of axe murderer or something like that. Like so, no,
nice.
just kidding, just kidding. No, but I'm saying I have I love horror. Okay, and
Mhm,
I
mhm.
and I'm really good at animating or illustrating it. So yeah, if you got somebody who wants some horror work done, I'm pretty sure I could knock it out of the ballpark.
Well,
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 I'm your girl. I can tell you who wants it. So we'll talk.
All right.
Well, they say
All right.
we'll talk. We'll talk.
well,
Great.
how about this? I mean, since we're sitting here talking about horror, look at this piece right here. I mean, we got blood, we got guts. I mean, stuff is just slinging all over the place. You know, I mean, this piece right here is just phenomenal. I remember
Oh,
the first time I saw it, it was half done, and I was like, man, don't touch it. You might screw it up. I mean, this is just.
Yeah, I wish I would have added a little more in the background, but
It
I
don't
think
need it. I don't need it. This thing is incredible.
well, I knew Kyle was going to be coloring it, and he does his own kind of thing with the
Yeah.
backgrounds anyway. I knew I
Yeah.
didn't have to,
Yeah.
and it would be fine. So I'm still waiting to see it colored. I did 2 of them. I did 2 for Ethan of these cards, and that's the other one. I have seen that one colored already. I don't think it's been posted or anything, but I've seen it. Kyle sent it to me. I'm waiting to see the other one. The other one's the one I really want to see done.
Yeah, I mean, both of these were just fantastic, and I mean, you can't show your work without seeing it, because this was again that time where I was like, I was seeing your work, I was like, dude, this guy's got something special. This is awesome. And then you started doing these for Ethan. I was like, whoa, what? I mean, this guy just like turned on the turbo booster and just like turned it up a notch, and I was like, holy cow, he's killing it right now, you know. And then the Dan Fraggle one came out, you know, and stuff. And I was just like, holy cow, he's in the zone. That's exactly what it's called. You're in the zone.
I'm just loosening my joints up right now. You know, I think in about 2 or 3 years, I'll probably be at a pretty good place, and anything that I put out is going to be pretty damn good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, as long as you can keep it up. I mean, I had the good fortune of being able to spend a little bit of time with Bernie Wrightson. Now, his style is completely different than yours, but he's in the same mode of just like perfect line, all the way across an entire big page. I mean, if you go back and look at his Frankenstein pages he did, you know, I mean, how can you beat it? You know, I mean, he did Frankenstein. Ain't no one else going to do that.
That the one where he's in the laboratory and you got all the beakers and the maps and all the stuff up in the ceiling, and the way he's able to create that kind of depth with ink, it's untouchable.
And there's a reason why you didn't see too much of that from him after that, because he had been building his career and then he did those, and it's like, where do you go from there? I mean, he was just like, it was taking like 2 weeks to do a page or something.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was a passion project.
That's exactly what it was, and it's like you just can't do that, you know. As a working artist, there's no way you can do that and make money. You know,
no, not like that. No, it's too time consuming.
Yeah,
but shoot, that one of those pieces just sold for like over $1 million or something like that.
Oh, geez, I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure the Frankenstein piece where he's all laid out on the table. Well, no, not the one where he's laid out on the table where Frankenstein's got him. He's grabbing him, and they're in the laboratory. I think that one sold for like 1 point something million just recently.
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but I mean, the dude is, I asked him about it. He's just like, you can't do that. You know, he's like, and also his eyes, you know, he wore big old glasses. Like his eyes kept getting worse over the years, you know, and there's just so many things as an artist doing stuff like that. You start to, you know, things start to break down, and you just can't keep that up for too long.
Yeah, well, I know where he's coming from too. Like I said, like I would love to just be able to do projects like that take me, you know, 2-3 weeks to complete an image. You know, I would love to, if I could survive just putting out stuff like that, because that's the kind of artist I am. I want to give every page I do or every piece I do, I want to give it everything I got at the moment. But when you're doing page for page for page, you just can't do that and be productive. So
here's the thing though, like there is someone like Jay Lee. Okay, Jay Lee, he makes buku bucks on his covers. I have no idea how much Uncle E had to pay for his, but I'm sure it was $5,000 to $10,000 range, easy, probably around 10 grand a piece, for a page. Now that guy, he can do one a month. I mean, I don't know about you, I don't know, but me, I'm like, I could do one piece a month for 10 grand. I could live easy.
Yeah. If I was a cover artist and I was actually getting paid enough, I would love to just be a cover artist and then do like a project on the side, work on it for a few years, in my free time, and then put out my own book like once every like 5 years, and then just do covers in between, because that way I could give the book the kind of attention I want to give it, and still make a living. You know what I mean? And go nuts on covers. I would love that.
Yeah, George Travalos, he was, I hope I'm saying your name right. Again, I'm terrible at pronouncing names, but he was saying that you were correct, that it broke the record for an inked piece, right there. So there you go.
How much was it? It was like 1.2 or something like that. Am I close there?
That's what he's saying. He's saying that you're correct, that it was somewhere around there. So there you go.
Yeah, that's insane. Like,
incredible.
It's worth it though. It's well worth it. It's one of the greatest pieces of comic book art that out there.
Well, I ever since the first time I saw them, when I seen those, when I first got into comic books, it was that type of stuff that got me interested in doing art the way I do. It was people like him, Frank Frazetta, Jeff Jones. Those were the people that were like, okay, if I'm going to do things, I want to do it this way because this is the top of the game. And if I shoot for the top of the game and I miss a little bit, I'll still be above most people.
You're still in a good place. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, if you're going to shoot for something, always shoot for the highest possible mark. And if you fall a little below, you're still better than most. It's not a big deal.
So you're saying I need to get my Jordans because I want to shoot as high as I can. I got to get my J's on my feet. Get some J's on my feet.
There you go.
That's right.
Well, I tell you what, if you want to jump high and you want to do stuff like that, I went to school with a guy who I think is way better at air stuff, dunking the ball and stuff like that. Vince Carter. I went to high school with him. He was incredible. He was incredible in high school. He was incredible in junior high when I played with him. I mean, it was just like that dude. I mean, he can. Go back and look at the dream team that he was on, where he jumped over the guy. All right, the guy was like standing up. Oh, I'm gonna block you. He jumped over him and dunked it on him. The poor guy from Eastern Europe. I have no idea where, what team he was on, but it's like one of the best dunks ever.
You went to school with Vince Carter?
Yeah. He was a grade ahead of me. Yeah.
I didn't put you up there.
He's name dropping.
I didn't put you up there in that age category. You guys, both of you look way younger than you are. So like,
well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm.
I told you about
43.
Chocolate don't melt. Chocolate don't melt. Come on, I told you. Well, we do melt, but
Well, I will have to say this though. I mean, we are at an hour, and I like to be cognizant of people's time. I'm gonna show you a couple little things, and then we're gonna get out of here. Black Star.
Yeah.
Black Star, I appreciate you for stopping in and saying hey and getting a few questions in. But I wanted to show you something, because we're talking about drawing and stuff like that, and I wanted to kind of show some of my own. It ain't as like yours, but we're getting there,
Well, that's why I came on this show, to see your work, not my own.
Well, I wanted to just show a couple of pencil and ink type pieces with you. Okay, so this is the way.
Hey, before you do that, drop that exclusive real quick. Drop that sweet exclusive real quick.
What sweet exclusive?
Come on, baby. The sweet exclusive. That sweet exclusive.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. I did a little piece for Clint Stoker's Downcast that we just got in the mail today. Nice. Yeah, here's the second book. We really liked the read on the first book. The first book was a real good read. And I was fortunate enough, he asked me to do a piece for it. Let me see.
Did you post that by any chance?
I posted it when I did it, you know, but I'll post it up again since you know the book is out now. But
I'm on my phone right now, so I can't see pretty much anything very well that's being displayed. The screen's so small. I'd love to see it though. When
oh yeah.
Are we back?
Maybe enlarge the screen so you can they can see your can see it.
There we go. Okay.
There
Yeah. I know our internet isn't very good, but there you go. You know.
Man, that's nice.
We're going to be showing it later tonight because I'm going to post up the video. So we're going to be so everyone in the chat, if you want to see this in person, we do like a box opening. We're going to post this right after. And I'm going to post it on Twitter as well. But it's just going to like a quick 5-minute, reveal of that. So it's so neat.
Yeah, so that's the secret history of Strata that's actually been added to the back of the book. It's, he asked me to do a piece for it, and I was really, again, if someone asks you to do something, you always say yes. So, but I really like that because out of all the CG books that are out there and stuff like that, the read on that one is one of the best. I really, really enjoyed it. So,
your scenery are amazing. Bye.
Bye. Did she drop out? There she went. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I did the piece for Clint Stoker. That was awesome. The book just came in. It looked great. Whenever you do art like that, because it's a lot of color, a lot of stuff, you're always worried about how it's going to print.
Yeah.
And I never saw a print. Test print of it or anything like that. So obviously it came in and it looked great. So I was
it
like,
looks amazing. Yeah. So amazing.
Yeah. So we'll be sharing that out.
I love your scenery. It's just, it really draws you right in.
Fantastic. I mean, that's work. I appreciate that, man. I mean, coming from you, that means a lot. I really do appreciate it. So to finish this off, I brought in a couple of my pieces here, and this one right here, this is when I do those landscapes and those sceneries, where there's a lot of depth to the piece. This is a style that I like to work in. And what I've done here is the foreground here, all across the bottom, this is inked. I've done all of this in inks, the immediate foreground. And then right behind those inks, I do pencils. I do a dark pencil, like an ebony, or like a 2B or something like that,
Yeah.
And then behind that I'll go to like an H pencil, and then to like a 4H or something like that. So I'm actually using inks and then dark pencils and light pencils, so I can get that depth.
Fades out into the background.
Yeah. And I continue to do the same type of line work, but I'm just pressing the same, but I'm just doing it with different materials. So I'm allowing the materials to create that depth for me. So just a little fun.
Maybe I'll steal that technique.
Go for it, man.
You just save me having to ink some backgrounds too.
There you go.
Might be good on time, and it looks great.
So and then this is go ahead.
I was gonna say whatever works, right?
Exactly. I mean that for me, like, exploration is everything. I love to explore and to learn new things. That's why I'm doing the book in 3 different styles. It's like I'm doing the pencils and colors, and then I'm doing inks and colors, and then I'm doing the painted stuff. Like you saw in Clint Stoker's Downcast book there. So we got
probably keeps you interested too, right? Like you get to switch it up as you go. You're not just repetitively doing the same thing over and over again.
Exactly. And then also you get to move along. Like if I just did line work like this, it would be really tedious, as you know. I'd have to keep going back in and doing the line work. And what I try and do is, I'm not a big fan of cross hatching.
Yeah.
Now, the way you do it, I'm a huge fan. But most cross hatching is just a bunch of X's, And
yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that. So something that I always try and do is I do parallel line technique, where I just lay down parallel lines everywhere next to each other and create my depth that way. So that's exactly how this one was done. But this is just doing pencils. This is just a penciled piece, and then I'll go in and I'll color it. So
I gotta check your Twitter feed because I want to get a closer look at some of this stuff. Is it on there, or is it on the campaign at least?
it's on there somewhere. It's definitely on the
Okay.
campaign, but it's just one of those things. I mean, if you wanted to look at some stuff, I could always just send it to you in Twitter.
Yeah,
or
do
something
that
like
because like I said, I'm looking at my phone right now, and my
I'll
eyes
take
just
care of you.
aren't that good. All right.
I know you're too busy looking at all those little detailed lines, man.
Yeah.
Well, Rob, like I said, it's great that you were here. I really appreciate you. It took us a couple times to make it happen, but here we are. I mean, this is just awesome. And
It worked out for the best. Yeah.
it happens when it's supposed to happen. That's the way I see it, right?
Well, I really appreciate you having me back on, man, and not
oh yeah,
being like, screw this guy, he canceled on me, forget him.
Oh, I canceled on you first.
You canceled
remember?
on me first. That's right. We canceled on each other. All right.
I was standing here like 20 minutes before the show was supposed to start, and I'm looking out the window, and rain just pouring down. The lights are flickering. And I'm like, I can't do this.
That's exactly. If it's raining here, I can't even stream. So I think that's what happened the second time. I could be wrong, but I think it was probably the weather. Usually it is.
I'm from Florida. I know what it's all about, man. I mean, the hard rains there. I mean, it's monsoon, baby. I mean, that's all it is. But again, I'd like to thank you for being here. I'm gonna play the video to roll us out, and then stick around. I'll say hey to you afterwards. Okay.
All right. Cool.
All right. Let me just go ahead and stop screen, share screen. Always hate this. But that's just the way it's done.